All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Photo Talk Plus, Episode 7. I'm Thomas Hawk, and we have Lotus Carroll with us, and our special guest, Nicole Young, and a wonderful group of panelists, except we're all blacked out tonight. Say hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Okay, so everybody's here, but we're blacked out because of SOPA, PIPA, I guess? PIPA, whatever you call it. So anyways.
SOPA PIPA.
Today is the day we're all
nice red
supposed
sauce.
to write our Congress folks and tell them that we should stop that bad law. So that's why you can't see any of us tonight, for those of you that are watching. And we're just going to do that for a few seconds, though. And then we can
I was just thinking it's because my power blacked out, really.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
We're back. We're back because SOPA PIPA is not going to pass, so we're all back. So, thank you, everybody,
For the digital frontier, yo.
for joining us for Photo Talk Plus, Episode 7. Lotus, you want to go ahead and introduce our guests and our panelists tonight?
Yes, I'll start with our panelists, and we'll finish it off with our special guest.
And tell everybody where they can find you, by the way, when Lotus introduces you in a little bit. If you got anything to plug or pitch, go for it.
Okay, so let's start with Gino Barasa.
How's it going? I can be found at the Maricopa County Maximum Penitentiary for Men, except on weekends where I am out.
Good job, Warden.
Where's your straitjacket?
I don't have it with me. But I do have two things real quick. Everybody, I think most everybody knows about my 1 million Thomas Hawk mentions before either I die or he dies. That's a goal of mine. And hopefully he dies first, because then that would kind of kill it for me. If I die, it's over. And also, I don't know if you guys caught Trey this week was talking about how he and Tom Anderson are going to be traveling the world and photographing, and they were looking for one person to go with him and be the B camera guy.
Yes.
That's going to be me. It's going to be, yeah, Paris, Kathmandu, Laredo. It's going to be huge. We're going to be going everywhere. So this is going to be a big announcement for everybody. Even Trey, he doesn't know it yet either. But but I'm the guy. I'm there. And except for the B camera part, I'm going to be the A camera guy. Trey can, back me up. That's fine.
So this is just a stalking announcement.
No, this is going to be a big announcement. I hope, Trey, if you're watching, buddy, no need to thank me. I'm there for you.
Restraining order, Trey.
And Gino is on Google Plus, for those of you.
Yes, you can find him on Google
figure
Plus.
that out.
You have to delete everything within
I'm on Google Plus.
Yes, you are on Google Plus.
Until they pass SOPA.
That's right.
And he's appearing every Wednesday night at the Doubletree. Don't tip your waiter.
That's right, and try the veal. And also, down with SOPA-Pias. All right, next.
Next, we have Yvonne Makarov.
Hi. Yes.
Hello.
Yvonne Makarov. I'm here on this hangout. You can also find me on yvonnemakarov.com, which is a very original link. And might have heard of me recently. I am helping put the book together. A group of us are getting together to put a book for charity. And I've been sending out a lot of emails. People have been resharing it pretty actively. So putting that together this next few weeks.
And we'll talk more about that in just a little while, actually. So.
Yep.
And you said you're here on Google Plus. Is there anywhere else on the web people can find you?
My website, yvonnemakarov.com, and I also have a blog there that I update every 3-4 months. So, and yeah, that's kind of pretty much where I hang out.
Okay, sweet. We also have Miss Kimberly Pemberton here tonight.
Hi, I'm Kim Pemberton. You can find me on Google+, or I have a website, sunshowerphotography.blogspot.com. And I've also been recently selling some prints on a Zenfolio website. It's the same thing. You can find it off my blogspot. And pretty much all over Google+. So just go on there and you'll find me.
That's a
Search
fact.
Kimberly Pemberton all over Google+.
That is an understatement.
Okay, and from Google we have Timothy Jordan.
Hi, I'm Timothy. I'm a developer advocate at Google, working on Google+, and you can find me on Google+, and timothyjordan.com, which is a website that I never update, except automatically. And, of course, we have in the house as well Natalie.
Who's there with you?
By our heater, can I show you? Yes, of course, she's laughing.
Yeah.
And our cat, Olivia.
Sitting in the corner.
Oh, and our circle support.
It's near the heater, Lotus. She's warming her booty.
I do like those pillows. I
I guess the limited edition.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I saw a great photo of Vic on a couch the other day. Somebody posted with all these like lovely little pillows like that.
And by the way, this is our blanket. This is our Pac-Man blanket.
That's awesome.
Nice. Nice.
It's so you can play Pac-Man while you're cuddling by the heat.
A favorite pastime when you're with your loved one.
Nice.
And that brings us to our special guest for the night, which is Nicole Young.
Hello, I'm Nicole Young. You have to throw that S, Nicole S.
Oh,
Young
sorry,
in there.
Nicole-
Only if you're searching.
Nicole Z.
Nicole Z. Yeah, I go by, if you Google me, Nicole, it's Nicole S.Y., Nicole Z. You can pretty much find me anywhere. Yeah.
She's the Kim Pemberton of the internet.
It's all the internet. The entire internet.
I like that. So, well, welcome everybody, and welcome to everybody who is watching us. Keith Barrett, who normally streams the show as well, could not make it tonight, so we miss Keith, and so we're broadcasting exclusively tonight, live on Google.
Whoa.
In my photo stream. So, in my stream. It's not necessarily just a photo
The
stream.
show just keeps getting more and more exciting.
Yes. So, so
Hold
we've
on to your
got that.
hat.
So we've got that, and if you guys want to leave comments or chat in the Hangout stream.
So there's
We're
no
watching
moderators
you.
then?
Yeah, we have the chat room from Vidcast that we usually have, so you have to ask all questions and make all comments on the post in Thomas's stream.
Yes, on the post on my stream. Some people are already there. I see PJ's there, and Elizabeth Hahn, and Anthony DeRosa, and Fadi, and Rich. So we've got some people watching already. So feel free to comment in there, and we'll take some questions later on from that thread as well.
Yeah.
Oh, and we've got the big screen version of it now too. So, and with that, why don't we jump right into the show? Yvonne, let's start with you. Tell everybody about this exciting new book. You've got how many Google Plus photographers involved with it now?
We have 400 people, around 400 people that came out and said they want to contribute a photo. And so I formed a circle for that and been maintaining that circle since we kind of came out with the idea. The idea started about a month ago when I was starting to think about the pictures that I took during the year and how it would be nice to put it in a book. We've done a couple of books like this before on Flickr, actually. The group there was smaller and was on a much smaller scale, but we found that project to be pretty fun when you just come up and publish a book together, write an article or two, and then everybody can buy it and everybody could have it. We had one lady one time that bought the book, and then she traveled all over the States and Canada taking autographs from the photographers. She was kind of dedicated. And so we decided to do it, see if we can do it on the Google Plus, because the community has been very active. The community has been very open, sharing, and then we decided, well, why don't we do it for charity? Not just do it for fun so we could have it on a shelf, but let's see if we can raise a little bit of money and donate it to charity. And that's what we decided to do. And as the idea came out, developed, about 400 people came out and said, yeah, I'd love to participate. It kind of spread all over Google Plus, and it's amazing. It's been amazing to see, because in that circle I have photographers who are very well known. Some of them very good amateur or professional photographers that came out and they're happy to contribute. And then we got the other end of the spectrum, people that just picked up a camera over Christmas break and started taking pictures and are happy to contribute. So it's really spread all over Google Plus and got a great response. So this week we're gathering all the photos for a book, and once we gather them up, by the end of the week, we're going to start putting the book together. And the book will be in 3 forms. We're going to have, obviously, a paper book that we're going to self-publish. It'll through Blurb that people can order copies. Besides that, we are going to have a PDF version of it so people can download it. A lot of actually photographers are in the countries where Blurb doesn't publish, and so and they don't want to pay shipping charges. Shipping charges could be expensive too, and if book grows, it could not be a cheap book to buy. And so some people would just want to have a PDF to put on their computer or to put on their tablet or something. So we're going to have it in the PDF form as well, where images could be viewed really nicely in tablet resolution. And then we have third version that we're going to work on and release just soon or shortly after would be for iPhones and iPad in iOS version. We're happy to release an Android as well if we find a developer who can help us convert it to Android platform. So that's kind of where we're at and what we're trying to do.
Okay, so you're looking for a developer for the Android platform right now then?
Yeah, if somebody's out there, and it's going to be very simple to actually do it. We're just going to do a storybook form, so it doesn't require a lot of skills, but we don't have somebody who knows how to do it for Android platform.
Okay.
By the way, guys, we are, I guess, still chatting. Folks still are chatting on Keith's network tonight, even though he's not broadcasting there.
Okay.
So I just put a link for those of us in the Hangout to Keith's chat room if you want to pull it up.
All right.
Folks still are there as well as the thread. So, but Yvonne, I've got a question. Who is the charity? Who is this money going to?
Charity is UNICEF. One thing that is probably worth mentioning, so it's a children's organization that's international, well-known. They donate, the money they receive from donors are used to help out unfortunate children around the world. We did talk to them recently, and we're not able to obtain an official endorsement from them, so we can't mention them in our title and our marketing materials, but this is, if you just follow the stream, you'll see who we're donating to, and in our materials we're going to mention that it's a children's international organization that we're donating money to.
Okay, wonderful. It's obviously a great group, and then other than that, the charity component, everything else is being done at cost for the photographers, and all the photographers are donating their photos and everything else, correct?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. People's been very nice. They came out and said, we're ready to help out. I have a group that's going to proofread. We have a designer that we're working with from Wales, Andy Lee, who helped us design the logo. If you've seen the logo on our web page, on our Google Plus page, and he's going to help put up some mock-ups for the PDF version and Blurb version. And so he's a professional web designer, a professional publishing designer, and so people's been very good, and they're not just willing to contribute a photo, but they're willing to contribute time as well to make a project happen.
Well, I think this is wonderful. As Yvonne said, we did a couple of these books with some groups that we were involved with back at Flickr before Google+. And it's just a wonderful thing to be able to have, on your coffee table instead of just online that you can take out and you can open it up. I mean, the ebook and the PDF, that sort of stuff is great too, but I think there's something about the printed version where you've got your photograph in there, you've got all these other friends of yours photographs in there, people from the community, and it's just a great picture book to share.
Definitely, and that was the whole goal, is just to get together and publish a book of pictures from your friends, kind of a thing. And the books that I have from the projects that we've published in the past, I look at them every once in a while, and it's still a good memory. That's something tangible, because a lot of the times, especially in the format like Google+, pictures just come and go, and you never see them again. And that's something that we tangibly can spend more time on. And I find that myself, when I look at the photo book, I spend a lot more time per image than when I'm viewing it online. Online is just 10, 20 seconds and you move on. When it's a book in front of you, you can actually spend minutes or hours just looking through those pictures and actually getting to know them better that way.
That's true. Well, I'm excited about the book, Yvonne. Great work. I think it's wonderful seeing the community.
It's really cool.
Come to put that out and do that collaboratively. So wonderful. Glad to hear about that. And keep us posted as far as images are due for the people that have signed up. When? The 22nd, right?
Due Sunday night. Yep.
Sunday night.
So Sunday night, and then because we have to stop collecting them so we could start designing the book. Designing is not going to take long, but once we start designing them, organizing things, it will be hard to fit things. So those that are willing to participate and haven't done that yet, please send us your images by Sunday night, and you'll be in the book.
And is
Wonderful.
that all that information
is
on
great
how
to
to
hear.
submit it? Is that on your G+? We can
It's
go
on.
to your
It's in
G+
my
link?
profile. If you just click on my name, you'll see a bunch of posts that I've recently posted that has that information. Pretty much, you just need to send us your picture in the full resolution and sign a license agreement that grants us limited rights to use that image for the book.
And do you accept baked goods for the selection process? Chocolate cookies, or like what would your preference be, just hypothetically speaking?
Google.com email address.
I'll keep that in mind.
Okay.
That's all you need. Google.com.
I don't know how I'm going to get that out of an oven, but I'll think about it.
Okay.
Yvonne is easy to find on Google+. Hop on over to his stream, and you'll find out more information about this. So. Okay. I hear a little background chatter.
Yeah.
But before we get to our next story, Yvonne, what do you got? 3 now? 3 kids now?
3 kids. Yep.
Good for you. So before we get to our next story, we're going to take just a quick second to talk about one of our first sponsors tonight, Drobo, who we love Drobo. I've got 5 Drobos. It saved me before when I've had hard drives go out.
Did you have 5 last time, or are they multiplying?
My Drobos, I still have 5. No, I've got 5. You know, I'm getting close.
It's gonna add up. Eventually, it's gonna need a new one.
See, what
Do you have all like the standard like 4 or 5 drive ones, or do you have like one of those pros that's like the rack?
No,
and
all of mine are the 4 drive ones. But if you see here, actually, you know what I can do? I can take my camera right off here and show it.
He's got the Thomas Hawk Drobo model.
Yeah. Let's see. Do we see this guy here? There he is. There's the Drobo. So
Nice.
it's got these little blue lines. So do you see this one's my 5th one is almost full.
Wow.
And it's got some big drives in there. It's got 4 drives in there. See it just like that. These are little internal hard drives. You just if one dies, this little thing here turns red. You just pop it out, plug a new one in. It heals itself. You're back in business.
Or I just actually, over the last, my lights are flickering, over the last couple days, or last week, because it takes a day or so for them to actually heal, I just replaced 2 of my drives with 2 terabyte drives each, so I added a couple of terabytes of data to my Drobo, so it makes it easy. So, because back in the day, we had to buy a whole new hard drive and then figure out, are we going to just keep half of it on this one and half of it on another one, or are we going to transfer everything into one new drive, so...
Wasn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know how we ever lived like that.
I know, it was awful, wasn't it? It was back then when you had to like watch cable TV and stuff too.
No DVRs, huh?
Exactly.
Back when you talk to your friends through email.
Right. Remember that?
We actually like met them
in person.
in person. Novel idea, huh?
Well, the nice thing with the Drobo is that it is primary storage. So instead of keeping a copy of one thing on one drive and one thing on a second drive, it actually spreads it across the drives. Mm-hmm. So I use it as primary storage for my stuff.
So how big is your drive on each Drobo? Or like, what's the storage?
This particular Drobo, let me see. Got the Drobo. We won't get too much into Drobo here, but so there's the Drobo dashboard, and I can see capacity. So you can see this particular one. They have a new version of the firmware. Let's do that later. So in this particular Drobo, it's 4.98 terabytes total, and I've got 1.1 terabytes left. So this will show you how it's using. Available for data. The volumes I've got it named Phoenix. What else have they got? They've got all this stuff in here. So these are the drives you're using. I've got a 2 terabyte drive, a 2 terabyte drive, a 1.5 terabyte drive, and a 2 terabyte drive. And they're all green and healthy, but I'm getting close to full. So anyways, that is the Drobo. So with that, let's get on to our next story. Thank you, Drobo, for sponsoring the show.
Thank you, Drobo.
The next story that we have tonight is, well, we started off the show with the SOPA PIPA blackout, which I think was a good way to start the show. But this has obviously been one of the biggest stories on Google Plus this week. I don't know if you guys saw today, Matthew Inman had like some animated GIF with like 7,000 plus ones or something crazy like that. But it seems like this is a story that affects us all, I guess. But from a photographer's perspective, what do you guys think about this?
Well, there's been a lot of interesting responses. I think most of the photographers that came out today talked about how they support it and how we need free internet. And at the same time, I've seen several responses from people who said, well, it depends. There's only this much you can take it so far, and if it's your primary source of income is your intellectual property that you create, then maybe there should be means to get more compensation for it. So that's been an interesting thing, I think, to see those alternative responses from mostly from people who are actually full-time photographers.
Yeah, one of the things that bothers me a little bit about it is it doesn't seem to really distinguish the type of use. Mm-hmm. Who was it? Veronica Belmont had an interesting post that I thought was funny, where she said, under SOPA, if you share a Michael Jackson song, you can get 5 years in prison, and that's 1 year more than the guy that killed him. But, I don't know, I think a lot of times, if we're out there taking pictures as a photographer, at least I feel like if I'm taking pictures, there's copyrighted sort of stuff all the time that end up in our photos. I took a photo the other day of this little girl at the art museum at the San Francisco MoMA sitting in front of like a Rothko painting. And theoretically, do I really want to, be penalized if somehow people say, oh, well, that's a Rothko painting in your picture that you posted for non-commercial use on a personal photo sharing site.
Well, and not only that, but the entire website that you shared it on to get shut down without.
That's the fear. Like if one person posts something on, let's say like WordPress, and then do they take it down all of WordPress, or do they take down all of Flickr because they can't, isolate it to one person?
I think that's the idea, that they can.
So enabling the heavy hand just seems frightening,
I mean, a lot of sites came out in opposition to this, obviously. I mean, Google did a big campaign today, and Wikipedia was down, and I know Flickr, in terms of photo sharing sites, they had a thing where you could put that on your photos or put it on other people's photos, a SOPA message.
I think what's interesting here is the solutions that we choose, right? I think one of the things that SOPA misses is talking to industry who have come up with really creative technological solutions for protecting copyrighted material. And using that wealth of knowledge and working with technology companies instead of writing a bill that kind of undermines a lot of work that they do. I mean, that's the right thing, not the least of which is coming up with innovative distribution solutions so that people pirate less because they have access at a reasonable price to the media that they want, and that they generally feel fine about purchasing outright. I mean, how many of us would much prefer watch a movie on Netflix rather than like fire up a site to find a way to steal it, right? Like I'm already getting this streaming media, and I'm happy to pay Netflix the monthly fee to get it so conveniently.
Well, I was watching the news tonight, and they talked about SOPA, because it's so big, especially today. And I think one of the things that is almost humorous to me is you get these people who are talking about numbers, and they're like, we're, all like $135 billion worth of pirated material. That was people's jobs, and it was income, and it was all this stuff. And it's realistically, that number is way off because the people who are, let's say, downloading movies, when they shouldn't be downloading them, but they're downloading pirated movies. They're not downloading a movie in exchange for buying it. They're only downloading it because it's free. They wouldn't go and buy the movie if it wasn't available to download. They're just downloading it because it's free. So these numbers are way off. And obviously, I think as far as I know, all of these SOPA and PIPA and all these things are for the big corporations. How likely is somebody, if I had a photo that was used illegally, they're not going to take down an entire site. I wouldn't want them to, but they're not going to do it just for little old me. They're going to do it for the big, huge companies who have money and can, assert their force on these sites.
Yeah, and that's the tricky thing about the laws, right, is trusting the enforcement of law. And who do we trust, and what restrictions do we put on them so that that enforcement is something that we can all be proud of, not just the privileged few that have access to lawmakers. And I'll tell you what, like, undermining the fabric of the internet is not step one.
No. No. Well, I think it seems like pretty much just about everybody I've talked to is against it. I haven't met very many people that are. There was one guy in my thread that was arguing about. He seemed like he was for it, or not for it, but he was trying to understand it and educate himself. And I mean, I certainly empathize with people with piracy and stuff like that, but this just seems like a badly flawed written bill.
Yeah, obviously the people who are against the act are not for piracy. None of us want anyone's things to be stolen or used illegally or copyrighted material used without permission. It happens. It's on the internet. We all know that. We all see the remixes of movies and music videos on YouTube. But is that and I also think that the whole thing is that a lot of this SOPA stuff is a lot of what we are looking at is things that could happen, like this, something to protect, copyrighted material from being used, pirated material from being used by a foreign agency is what I think that a lot of it is targeted at. It could also be translated into using in the U.S. And if we were to enact something like that, it would also move out to other countries, and other countries would start taking it on. So it would just grow, it blossom into this horrible thing, and it would eventually get translated into censorship, which is nobody. No, we don't want censorship. We want freedom.
Right.
And is foreign censorship that much better than domestic censorship? I mean, there's a whole world out there with voices that we should be listening to.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I agree. I hope they do defeat it, because I worry as a photographer, specifically posting non-commercial stuff on like Google Plus or Flickr, and I've already been sued once for posting non-commercial stuff, and it's not fun.
That's strange, because using it editorially, if you're not using it commercially, that's like saying they're going to start taking down newspaper websites because they, took a photo and it had, a museum, like you said, a museum painting in the background. That's editorial use, and if you're posting something on your blog or anywhere, as long as you're not posting it on a billboard to make money or something, then you should be okay, and that's just people not being educated, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Well, anyways, that's that issue, and with that, why don't we get on to our next story? Apparently now on Google Plus, now I have not tried this yet, but I hear that Lotus might try it.
Yes, I have one.
You can now add text to your photos. Oh, here we go.
Like ICANN has cheeseburger effect.
Yes, ICANN has cheeseburger. Your background?
Since you're doing the broadcast, if you click on it, will it be in the recording?
Yeah, it will. It will. So there we go. Your background, yeah, it's important. It's a nice photograph of you, Lotus.
Thank you. My background is exceptionally just...
I know. What's going on back there with Braden? What's he doing back there?
He's got a few fingers up his nose.
It looks like he does have a finger up his nose.
Yeah. Sultry fail for the photo in general.
That's great.
I added that text right in my Google Plus.
Okay then. Well, let's see.
I love the look on your face, Lotus.
Then I can just go right down here and plus one it? No, I can't do it right here, can I? I gotta do it.
In the video? Yeah, I don't think so.
I can do it in the video. So what do you guys think? Do you guys like this? Do you not like it? Do you don't care? What do you think?
It's kind of cool.
I don't want people to be able to take my photos and do it with my phone. I don't mind. I think it's kind of cool. I think we'll come up see some real creative things. I always thought that ICANN has cheeseburger, lolcats, and all that stuff was really kind of funny and in a waste your day kind of way. But I think it'll be kind of fun to see stuff come through my stream.
Right.
Kind of looks like Kate Beckinsale or something in that picture.
Yeah, she looks. I don't know. She looks like, who is that girl, Gino?
She looks like a hot Lotus. That's what she looks like.
She looks like
We're
Gino.
supposed to be talking about the text adding feature. So if you just upload your photo, right, as soon as you're still in the share photo thing, before you actually click to share, there's a little thing underneath your photo, and you can just click add text.
Yes.
And then it has a place where you can add text at the top, in the middle, or the bottom, and you can center it, or left or right, justify it. So it's kind of fun. It's definitely silly. It's a silly thing, but like I've often been accused of being easily amused, so I like it. You know, people like to tell me to grow up.
Grow up.
Don't grow up, Lotus. Never grow up.
I'm kidding.
I think it's fun.
It does look fun. And then the other improvement that they made is that the autocomplete for hashtags, which is just a little nice, convenient thing. But what about these hashtags? Are you guys using those? Seems like there's so many photos of the day going on, you know? Mirror Monday, Decay Tuesday.
Hot jump.
What do you guys think about that?
Kimberton, talk about it. You're all over that.
Yeah. What's going on, Kim?
No, I used to do the daily posts all the time, like try and follow all the things, but now I just kind of post whatever I feel like posting that day. Usually it's purple and, you know, dust on it.
Good color.
Yeah.
What day is Purple Day, Kim?
Every day.
Every day. Okay.
Very specific.
I'm down with that.
Okay. You know, I
nice because it brings people together. So it brings a topic together. It's really easy to view everything at once. So like, you know, We Are Parents on Friday. You can click and see all the kitties.
Yeah, and specifically photo walks. Like when you do a photo walk, if without the hashtags, you'd never find everybody's pictures.
Yeah,
that's true. Photo walks work well.
We use the hashtag +1 collection. You can see all the photos that's been submitted so far if you type in the search in that, and that really helps because that's what I do several times a day just to see what's coming through. And so I think for project-based kind of communications, it's great.
It is, and it was really cool. Initially, people were using hashtags and they didn't do anything. The community just kind of said, hey, we're going to do this, and then Google Plus responded by, making them link and work. And so now they're doing the, autocomplete on the hashtag, so that's cool too.
Yeah, I think, does anybody have a favorite day, like a favorite little hashtag that they're using so far?
Yeah.
No.
No, what about in the chat room? Does anybody have a favorite? Anybody curating any? Somebody said something like Canadian Accent Day, Wednesday or something.
Eh?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know about
no
that.
idea what you're talking about.
I was waiting for that.
Thomas Hawk Bomb a few weeks ago was kind of nice. I missed it. I was traveling.
Hawk jump?
And then I saw it, and I clicked on it. All kinds of interesting pictures came up.
Yeah, I had a lot of people. That was Tom Anderson started that one. We had a lot of. We were on the ice in Yosemite, and I was doing like jumps, which was kind of probably stupid. The ice, I could fall right through the ice in the river, and they had pictures of me jumping everywhere. That was fun. That was fun, and I guess apparently Chris Messina, who is the guy that invented the hashtag, is working for Google now, which is kind of cool. I guess first it was on Twitter. That's where he first popularized it, but that's the guy that I've known Chris for a number of years. He's a real nice guy, and the inventor of the hashtag. So it's
yeah,
nice.
but I mean, historically speaking, if you're going to be known for inventing something, I don't know if the hashtag's really going to do it for me. I mean, you think about the automobile, the airplane, the hashtag.
I don't know, but in like a whole new internet world, that's kind of cool to be the guy.
I guess so.
Hashtag.
Hey, it's better than me. I haven't invented anything, so.
Yeah. And then we got Half Naked Thursdays. People are talking about.
Yeah, we like that one.
Yeah, people do like that one, don't they? Just don't show any nipples now.
Background Monday.
Background Monday, scavenger hunt. People like this. Yes, Krista Ray. Krista Ray's in the chat room. The scavenger hunt. That's a huge one. Krista posts so much on that one. Her account keeps.
Hi, Krista.
All right. Kim says hi.
So you guys talk about hashtags and the way you use them on photo walks. How else do you use them? Like, do you use hashtags with your friends?
I like to put them with some eggs over medium and coffee.
Nice.
I like to dip mine in some hot chocolate. No, I know what you mean, but...
I use hashtags more like if I'm at an event like Photoshop World, and I'm more for Twitter because I would think Twitter is larger for that, but it's very likely it'll end up going into Google Plus now, because then everyone can see they can click on that and see everyone else who's at the event and see what's going on.
I'm a little bit more serious with my hashtags on Google+. Like on Twitter, I started really, really abusing them. Like they're almost
The
nonsense.
ironic tag.
Like I just add it to the end of anything and just, I like wine or whatever. It doesn't mean anything. I think on Google I'm using them for, like Nicole said, for like events or things that I feel like really other people are actually going to use the hashtag too.
We need like a little keyword box or something when we're writing a post, so then we could just throw like the special keywords into the keyword box, like when you're tagging a photo.
I would love like keywords and tags. That would be great, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I would love that.
Like wine,
I end up, whenever I do a presentation, I add a hashtag at one of the beginning slides. And what happens is the people that are following along the presentation, and they sort of like have a back channel conversation on Twitter or on Google Plus or one of these mediums. But the coolest thing for me is that I can then go back and see what the conversation was as I was presenting, which is really cool.
That's very smart. I like that idea.
Sometimes that might be painful though.
Hey, it's a learning experience.
Yeah.
Well, when you think about it, I mean, that's sort of like, at groups in IRC, like some hash channel way back when, before any of this Twitter or Google Plus business. And you could do that at an event. You would start an IRC channel and have this back channel conversation. And in many ways, because of these tools, you can kind of look at the backlog conversation just as easily now with Google Plus.
They tend to be a little harsher though than what's really going on sometimes. The back channel stuff, but.
Yeah, sometimes they say funny things in my hat, but I try and just like.
Oh, come on! They can't say fun. That's a good-looking hat.
Okay, it's
So,
not bad.
I do think though it's great how photographers have sort of adopted them on Google Plus, and how, particularly with all these days. I think that's the thing that I like the most. You know, these names. I find myself getting sucked into that. I posted one on Tuesday Decay. I guess Tuesday Decay. Tuesday Decay. Is that how it goes?
Yeah. Ian
Yeah,
Ferris?
it's funny how that just took off. I wonder who invented that.
Yeah, I don't know. It just kind of took off. Probably Kimberly did invent it.
What did I invent? Everything.
The hashtag, the day hashtags on Google Plus, probably.
Oh yeah, I totally did all that.
Okay, well, and we got another story to talk about tonight, and that is our own Trey Ratcliffe, who we all know and love. Especially Gino. Gino loves him the most, probably. He had an article on GigaOM this week, why ebooks will be much bigger than you can imagine. He was a guest author, a guest blogger there on GigaOM. What do you guys think about that? Do you guys buy ebooks? Do you like ebooks? What do you think about ebooks?
I write ebooks. I have an ebook with Craft and Vision with David Dushman's company. I'm in process of writing one right now, and it's very likely I'll be working with Trey with his company for an ebook. And I write print books too. I have 3 print books out. Nice. So I see it from both sides, kind of the same way Trey does. And yeah, I think we all know that ebooks are here to stay, and they're going to just grow. I think that's just a no-brainer.
I'm doing one for Trey as well. I'm working on one for Trey.
I actually, I'm not working on ebooks. I guess Project is going to be an ebook. But ever since I bought a tablet, I have an iPad, I've really not bought a paper book. The issue there is I live in California and our space is so limited. I said, screw the books. So we moved recently, and I didn't even unpack all my old books. I just keep everything on the iPad. I buy photo books. I buy textbooks, everything now. And especially when they're accessible. Kindle as well, exactly. That's all started with Kindle, and I got a bunch of books on Kindle because Kindle is easier to read. I use iPad for everything else, things that have pictures, and so for me it's great because I can carry it with me, and I think I have at least 30 or 40 books there. Another great thing is a lot of the ebooks are cheap. So like David's books, Craft and Vision, they're just $5. I don't think twice when paying $5 for something. So it's really nice to be able to do that rather than pay $40, $50 and then have to wait and then having it just sit there dying on your shelf.
I know my kids love ebooks too. They like
do? They like them?
They love those books because my little one, because it reads to him and then I don't have to do it.
Great. The less we get with people, the better.
You know, I love ebooks and I also love audiobooks. And I think that what we're seeing is just many, many more ways to consume our media. And what you're saying about like ebooks being cheaper, it's like the distribution mechanism is less expensive, so the books should be less expensive, which means people will be more ready to sort of purchase them. I mean, it's good for authors and it's good for media companies, and I love this thing. I particularly love how like I can carry around this e-reader, and then on my Nexus, when I'm like walking between meetings, I can like read a couple pages, right? Because they sync the pages between them. It just makes it more convenient, more easy for me to read my favorite things.
Say, Timothy, are you writing an ebook on your hand right now, Timothy?
No, I went to a museum this weekend and I got a henna tattoo.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right. Well, you know, Trey also had a good point in his article about social media as a marketing multiplier. And, you know, there's something about, I think, you can just put it out there right now. Here's an ebook. This is really cool. And, you know, whether it's Trey or whoever that has a big audience, they can kind of put it out there. And particularly for people who it doesn't cost quite as much money, you just click on it, buy it right there. It's almost like an impulse buy. You know, you just throw it up on Google Plus or your blog or Twitter or whatever, and bam, 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 bam. You know, he's had a ton of success with them, but certainly you've got social media, whereas if you got to hype a book that somebody's got to go to a bookstore to buy, or even if you got to go to Amazon.com and you got to find it, and you got to pay more money and you got to have it shipped to you, it's not quite the same immediacy, you know.
What do you guys think is the right price for an ebook? Like, at which point do you stop and say, no, I'm not buying that?
$4.99 is every one I've bought so far.
$5 or $10, I think, is a good price. Like, I see it as like, you see it like with the economics of buying a coffee. You can buy like a latte for $5. You can get an ebook for $5. You know, what are you gonna get more value with, the ebook or the coffee?
Yeah, I think that's kind of the magic price point right now. I mean, I see some photographers come out with books and they still want to charge $40, $50, and I wonder if they sell any of these kinds of books.
For an ebook?
Yeah, for an ebook, for PDF.
Yeah, I'm not buying
it doesn't make sense. I understand you might have spent a lot of time writing it and you might have some unique content in there, but why would I want to do that? And so as I've been kind of doing a lot of research in connection with our book project, I figured that's kind of what we'll price it. People won't think twice, and especially 100% of that is going to go to a good cause. And so we can sell several hundred paper books, but I think we can really literally sell thousands of PDFs and raise more money that way. And I think if you're a photographer trying to make money through books, ebook is certainly a very good alternative.
Yeah. I remember
they're easy to make and
the
publish,
iPad
right?
came out and all this tablet software.
Yeah.
When the iPad came out and all this desktop software got published, and most people said, okay, well, this is easier, this distribution is easier, lower cost all around, I'm going to reduce the price of the application. And then a few manufacturers said, no, I'm going to keep it like $50 or $80. And I think the market will just dictate over time. It's like, I'm not going to get an app for my tablet that's priced as a full desktop app. Typically, it doesn't make sense to me. I'm not going to use it as much. I'm not going to, base a business on it. It's different.
Yeah, the only way
I think ebooks are like that.
The only way I'm paying $50 for an ebook if it's written by Kimberly Pemberton. Right, Kim?
I won't be writing books anytime soon, that's for sure.
Oh, come on.
Well, I think you're missing out on a niche market here with Thomas Hawk.
I know. I'd buy one.
Or are you going to fund me if I do it?
Sure. Put it on Trey's site. Trey will sell your book. He's good at it.
Sweet.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys have seen the story. There's a comedian that came out with a video. He said, "Forget the DVDs. I'm just gonna sell a video. You can download it however many times you want. I'm gonna sell it for $5." The guy made $1 million in 3 weeks, I think. And I saw the story. It was just over the Christmas break. So
Jim Carrey, right? It was Jim Carrey who did that.
Don't know if it was Jim Carrey. I can't remember the name. I'm going to try to look him up while we talk.
No,
but
I'm joking. It was like Louis somebody or other. I didn't
even heard of the guy, but I went and bought it. $5. What's the big deal? It was actually a pretty good show.
It was Louis C.K. It was Louis C.K.
That's right. Yep. $1 million in 3 weeks. I'd like to see a photographer who makes that much money in 3 weeks.
Hey, Ivan.
John Candy could get.
Ivan, you're in San Francisco, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I want to start following you around because apparently you just drop $5 bills and you don't pick them up. I'm going to see maybe $10. Drop a $10 bill. It'd be worth the trip.
You have to give him 5 back. You need to break the change.
There you go. I like this guy, Ivan.
Just send me some PDF and I'll buy it.
Okay, and so with that, we're going to start into this interview with Nicole. But before we do that, I want to say a special thank you to our second sponsor for tonight, SmugMug. We all love SmugMug. Lotus, you're using SmugMug. I'm setting up a gallery on SmugMug right now.
You are finally, huh?
You know, I've been asking people have been asking me to buy prints for years, and I just turn them down all the time. I just say no, I'm not equipped to do that. I don't want to do that. And so I'm in the process. This week I said I'm going to do it. And I'm in the process of getting a number of my photos up on SmugMug for sale, for print.
That's so exciting. So now we can all decorate our homes entirely in Thomas Hawk prints, right?
Exactly, Lotus, you can. That's right.
In the frog pose?
Oh, yeah, all of them. No, they're all going up. No, I'm not going to put all. I'm probably going to put maybe 10,000 or so photos on SmugMug for sale, I think. I want to pick the right ones.
Just 10,000?
Are they going to be $5?
Yeah, was that yesterday's photography or what?
I was going to say that's just a weekend shoot, Gino.
You're not really putting a lot of work into building this gallery, are you? Just throwing a few up.
I'm not sure exactly what. I've got about 65,000 photos online right now, but some are better than others, I guess.
Not true. No.
Yeah. So. But SmugMug's great because they pay the photographer like 85%.
Oh yeah, that's very generous. I don't know if people have looked around much, but the SmugMug deal for the photographer is a great deal, and their interface is slick.
Are you using them, Gino?
I have not, but I'm moving over to it. I'm kind of just waiting until my 500px and my Flickr accounts roll over and they want me to pay again, and then I'm going to migrate over to SmugMug because I don't think there's there's no question the SmugMug experience is way better than anything else out there.
Right. And the other thing I like that they do is, you can really create like a custom store, like a site that really feels just like your site, almost an extension of it, and they're great. They're great guys over there, and so I'm excited to get my stuff online and up for sale, and I've been meaning to do that for years, and I'm just too lazy and busy.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you something I've actually been thinking is one great thing about Google Plus is that you kind of meet these different people, right? I mean, you've got the people here, you meet different people in your stream that you get familiar with. Wouldn't it be great to actually have a copy of their work for yourself?
Sure, absolutely.
Wouldn't that be awesome to be able to go in your house and actually say, well, that's a Kim Pemberton, that's a Lotus Carroll, that's a Thomas Hawk, that's Ivan's work.
You have them chained up in your basement.
Yes, that's other things, but But it would be nice to have their work. I think that would be really cool to actually have work that represents people I've met from Google Plus.
I agree. Lotus, you shouldn't joke about that. Gino lives in the same town that you do.
I know.
Yeah, Lotus has been very careful not to even mention which side of town she lives on, which, by the way, that is excellent. That's good.
She has a vicious attack dog, though, so,
Yeah, he can bite the hell out of your ankles.
She had some really big guys following her around at that photo walk, too. That was scary. I don't know who those guys were, but those were like bodyguard material ninjas.
I see we've got Scott Jarvie in the chat room as well, and Scott Jarvie is a huge fan of SmugMug. He goes around the country talking about a lot of their features and stuff, which is pretty cool.
He probably has more pictures on SmugMug than anybody else.
Jarvie does? Jarvie, how many photos do you have up on SmugMug now? Is he in the chat room? Can he tell us? Ron Clifford says 4.
4.
4? No. He has 5? He has more than 5. Come on, Jarvie.
I think that's the count of saying his name again.
Jarvie says he has about 300,000 photos on SmugMug. That's pretty cool.
Are those all wedding photos?
Jarvie?
Jarvie does.
They're all self-portraits.
Double check. Yes, they're mostly naked self-portraits of Jarvie.
Yes.
That's scary.
They all have a light ring around them, too.
Yes.
And his car.
Well, anyways, we love SmugMug, and we're glad that they sponsor the show. I'm looking forward to selling my prints there as well, and catching up to Jarvie someday with 300,000.
You know what SmugMug needs One more feature. It needs a purchase entire catalog.
Whoa! Wow.
You know, because you only need one of those, and you could retire. You're done.
Yeah, that's right.
100,000 photos, one shot.
It's been $900,000 for the entire Thomas Hawk collection, all 70,000 photos framed.
Yeah. Or you could buy my entire catalog, or just one. Either way, it's $5.
Out there. Clicking the buy button right now.
That's right.
Or just say screw it and buy the 700,000 Thomas Hawk ebook. 700,000 photos.
I'll buy it for a loony.
For
What's a
$4.99.
loony? What is a loony?
People from Canada.
$1.
Oh, that's $1? That's
Yeah.
$1.
It'll be shiny.
It's a Canadian dollar?
Yeah.
All right. A loony it is. Okay, so with that, let's get into Nicole. Huh? Nicole?
Yes.
Our special guest. Thank you for coming on the show tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Who's got some... I'm going to save some of my questions, but who's got some questions for Nicole to start?
I do.
Uh-oh.
I knew you would, Gino. I knew you would.
All right, Timothy. Well, listen, seriously, I kind of checked out your site. I've been reading up about it. And a couple of questions. I have several, actually. But when it comes to food photography, have you found that certain foods are hard to deal with? For example, I've heard that of all the vegetables, rutabagas can be moody and recalcitrant. Have you experienced anything like that yourself?
I don't have any personal experience with rutabagas, so I can't.
Well, have you ever had any food walk out on a shoot before?
Let's see. I would say that there are some things that are difficult to deal with, and first, I guess I'll kind of give a little background of what I do. I'm a stock photographer with iStock Photo, which is a microstock site, and several years back, I started getting into food photography, and I just kind of slowly taught myself how to do it. So I do all of the styling and the props and lighting and all the photography of all my food images. And so to answer your question, Gino, a lot of the difficulty with food for me is always in the styling of the food, not as much the lighting and the photography of it. The meat is very challenging because it has a life expectancy. It can eventually die. All food can really kind of fade and die and look gross, especially like herbs, basil. You know, the leaves start to slowly like fall and wrinkle, and you have to replace them if you're doing anything like with pasta or anything like that. But ice cream, of course, I've never really photographed real ice cream before. I don't work with traditional clients, so I've never been challenged to actually photograph ice cream. But you know, if you're photographing real ice cream, then you have to be in a really cold environment, and it's a really quick thing. You have to use a lot of ice cream to get the right look for it. But yeah, meat's probably the most difficult.
So when you talk about like prepping food, like I have all these thoughts too, where I think about like you're doing things to the food that's going to make it inedible, like you're putting glue in there and weird stuff to, you know, hold it together so it looks pretty, right?
I don't do actually a lot of that. I do a lot of... there are very, very few examples in my photography that I've actually put anything in there that wasn't food. And the examples I can think off the top of my head are just using fake ice. I just recently did a photograph. I think I have it, Thomas, in my... Yeah, there's a blender shoot, and I filled up my blender with fruit, and then I just put fake ice on the top of it, because ice melts so quickly, and most ice that comes straight out of your refrigerator is going to be very foggy, so it's not going to look good. You want it to be clear and crisp. So that in this image right here that we're seeing, this is that ice on the top is all fake. But I might, you know, I will say that. Okay, now in this photo, I ate all of that fruit afterwards. There's no way I was going to let that go to waste. There's nothing wrong with it. It was good. I made a smoothie
And did you, in fact, have a big bowl of whipped cream as Trey asked?
No, I didn't actually. I went the healthy route. But I will. But then again, a lot of the food that I photograph, I don't eat it afterwards because it's been sitting out for so long, or it's not cooked fully. Just because I did a hamburger photograph, and I didn't cook it all the way. I wanted to cook it so it was still plump and juicy, and then I would paint Worcestershire sauce on the outside to keep it moist and looking like it was, you know, fresh off of the grill and ready to eat. It got cold after a while, and I probably could have worked with that a little bit longer, but I wasn't going to eat it afterwards because it had been sitting out for so long and it got cold. And
There's a time frame too for you. So because of that, you have to be fast in what you do. Then.
Yeah, what I do, my process for doing any food shoot is well, aside from the planning, which is, I already have the food purchase and I know in my head what I want to photograph, I set everything up first. My lighting is very simple. I do usually the same light for everything. I use a diffused window light, so the light's coming in from behind, and then I will prop up a couple of white cards, just a big, I think they're like 2x3 foam boards that I've cut in half, so they kind of fold like books. Those just add fill light to it. I'll prop those up. I'll get my table set up exactly how I want it before I actually put the food on the plate. So that way I can go and cook the food, prepare it, set it down, and then it takes me very little time to get those last few things, like what I'm going to place in my background or swapping out a plate or a napkin or something that works better with the scene. But I have everything set up ahead before I actually do any of the cooking. So yeah.
Now, Nicole,
really quick.
You say you sell your stuff on iStock Photo. Mm-hmm. How many photos do you have up on iStock Photo now?
I have, off the top of my head, like 6,600.
Wow, that's a lot of photos.
Yeah, I have a pretty good portfolio. And I've been trying to really focus on food. I enjoy it, and I moved to Seattle recently, so I don't have as many of the people connections with working with models, because I do also photograph people. I love photographing people. But so because of that, I can do everything out of my apartment, so I've just kind of been creating food images, and I love it. So.
And what I mean, I don't want to get too personal or specific with numbers, but what percentage of your photography income comes in through iStock Photo? Is it a big chunk of what you do?
Yeah,
or is it?
It's pretty much. I would say 80 to 90% of my income is through iStock Photo. The rest of everything else, I write books. I actually have a book on food photography that was recently published in August. So I make some money from my books, ebooks, but I could live without that money. It's like my extra bonus money, that is nice to have and kind of put away for a rainy day. But yeah, my iStock earnings, I'm a full-time iStock photographer.
Wow. So that's your full-time job is working through iStock photography.
Mm-hmm. The nice thing, yeah, it's my full-time job. But the nice thing about it is that it doesn't take a full-time's worth of work for me. I mean, it would be nice to basically work on my portfolio 100% of the time, because I would really beef it up and I'd probably be making more money. But I am allowed to do other projects like write books and do blog posts and all the, be on Google Plus and do all of these things, because I don't have to put 90% of my energy towards my stock portfolio.
And does iStock Photography, what's their payout these days? What are they
Well,
paying?
I make 40%, and
nice.
They have a royalty structure. It's complicated. I'm not going to explain the whole thing, but it ranges from, I'm an exclusive photographer too, so if you're an exclusive photographer, meaning I only license images royalty-free through iStock Photo, you make between 20 and 40%, and if you're non-exclusive, I think it's 15 to 20%. I'm not sure the exact numbers.
Okay.
Nicole, I've tried.
Now, do you also work with Getty or just iStock Photo?
Well, my images, by default, I have certain images, like this image is on the screen right now.
Right.
This is in a collection called the Veta collection, and if you have images in either the Veta or the agency collection, where they're higher priced images because of maybe their aesthetics or the higher production value, whatever, the reason that they're in that collection, those are also mirrored over at Getty. So I make a little bit of money from Getty. I'm actually planning on putting in an application to be a full-fledged stock photographer with Getty. I'll see how that pans out, because it's really tough to get into those things. But I am trying. I'm going to try to get into, to do.
So it would be like as a Getty employee, actually?
No, it's just a contributor.
Oh, okay, it's a contributor. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Nicole, I've tried stock photography a few years ago, and what I found, one of the things was that you constantly have to produce new work. So you may have a big portfolio that sells well, but if you sit there on your butt doing nothing, then your income will go down. Do you find that to be true, that you have to refresh it all the time?
That is 100% true. I think that some people are under the impression that you can have this portfolio and just it'll make money for you. And well, I don't think it'll stop making money for you. Those images, they change their search algorithms frequently. And I think, like recently, it seems like newer images are being favored over some of the older images. So because of that, you constantly need to be creating new material. So while, like I said, I don't have to put all my energy towards it, I still put a lot of energy towards it. This year, my goal is to I want to add at least 1,000 photos to my portfolio on iStock,
Nice.
which means I'll be shooting every week, every day. Oh, this is a photo of my dad.
All right.
Yeah, one of the things that's... Go
That
ahead.
must have been an easy model release to get. From
Oh
your
yeah,
blog.
and that's the thing with stock. With micro stock, I don't have a huge budget because I'm creating all of my photos on spec, meaning I create the photo and I hope that somebody wants to use it and license it. So oftentimes a lot of my models are going to be people I know or people that found me and they want portfolio photos, so we work a deal and they sign a model release. So, and in this case, of course, my dad, and he makes a really good model too. So, I'll probably have some more in the future with him every time I go and visit.
And Gino will let you take pictures of him sometime.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
For $5.
For $5, okay,
He'll
deal.
sign a model release. He'll sign a model release, won't you, Gino?
I already have. I've done it right now. Here it is.
All right.
So Nicole, a lot of your stock photos that have people in them are friends of yours that just were willing to sit for you?
They're friends or they're people that I found. I found some people through Twitter. They're models and maybe actors in the area who I pay my models when I work with them. I don't. Well, it depends on the shoot actually. Sometimes I pay. Sometimes it's work a trade, TFCD kind of thing. But I do pay, and I usually pay when it's to my advantage more than their advantage, if that makes sense. Like if I'm doing a shoot that is a completely commercial shoot that they're not necessarily going to get any like portfolio images out of, then usually I'll pay them. But if it's like I said, like somebody found me a Model Mayhem, they want some portfolio photos, then I usually do photos for them, but they also work in some commercial stuff, and then it's just a full trade.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Now, what is your most
Also, Craigslist is
what's your most successful stock photo today?
I would say, well, what do you mean by most successful? Like most downloaded photo, or most money
Which
maker?
photo have you made the most money off of?
I have a photograph of pasta that I've made. That's my, I guess, money-wise, I've made more money on that than any other image, and that's because it's in one of those other collections, so it costs more per download. But my biggest selling photo by downloads, I believe, is a photo of two little kids walking hand in hand and with backpacks like they're walking to school, and I'm photographing them from behind. So,
okay. Gino, you were going to say something about Craigslist and your dating life or something? No, I'm kidding. I'm joking.
No. I have none of that. It's the Craigslist. You can get models off of Craigslist just by putting out an ad, and you'll find tons of people in your area that are interested in doing that.
And doing a lot more than modeling if you're in...
No, nothing like that.
Well, I thought it was interesting, Nicole, that you said you found people on Twitter. I mean, that's...
Yeah, I had a shoot. I needed a large group of people. I wanted to do like a casual business shoot, and this is when I lived in Utah. I had a studio there, so I just used my studio kind of as a very generic background, a bunch of chairs, teamwork, a bunch of concepts along those lines, and I needed a large group of people. I also, so I found a few people through that, and I had the photo that you were showing of the father and daughter reading the Bible. That was one of the guys, and that was a different shoot, of course. But I met him through that one where I did the group shot, and I found children at Facebook. I did a big group children on white background, very simple photograph shoot, and it's friends and friends of friends, and it's kind of, I don't know, it's just kind of a fun process. It's a lot of who you know when you're creating photos.
Is this your pasta shot that's been
No,
sold?
it's a different a different photo.
That does look good though. That makes
thanks.
me hungry.
Yeah, this is just a simple. I like to play with light. I use the steam light with this and added the steam to it. So.
Now I'm hungry. So good.
Do you buy special...
You added the steam, so the steam wasn't actually in the shot?
No, I used a hand steamer. And I actually have a blog post about this. I should find a way to link to it, where I actually used the hand steamer and just pumped the steam up. And it filled like the entire frame, so I had to do some Photoshop work to remove it from the bottom part.
When I have tried to take photos, like when I'm actually cooking food, the steam always totally baffles me, like ruins the shot for me. So that actually intrigues me, like how you have photos that actually have steam and it's like behaving. So that's interesting.
Yeah, well, like I said, that was an example where it was completely faked.
Yeah.
And there are
Oh,
ways
man.
you can heat up like cotton balls in the micro. I've never done it before, but you can get a wet cotton ball, or people use tampons, I've heard, and they'll heat them up in the microwave, and then they'll put it in the shot. They'll hide it somewhere in the shot, and you have a very limited lifespan with that. But then you get steam, and of course, to get steam in a photo, you need to backlight your images, which is preferred for most food photography, anyways, and then you want to have some kind of a dark background to actually have that steam show through. So you have to really set your shot up a certain way if you really want steam to show.
Tell me that you ate the steak.
I did eat that. This is an example. That steak photograph is an example of a food that I was only planning on eating, but as I was cooking it, and I think I already had the lights and the camera set up for another shoot, as I was cooking it, I was like, this is too beautiful. I am going to plate it so it looks beautiful, stick it, take a picture, and then I think I had to reheat it, or maybe I just ate it as is. But yeah, I ate that. It was wonderful.
Do you ever get lazy and order takeout?
I ate a lean cuisine meal tonight. I think some people are under the impression that I eat these glamorous meals all the time. I'm not a chef. I'm a very enthusiastic home cook. I hope to one day go to culinary school, and just for the sake of learning all the technical stuff about food and becoming a better cook.
Oh man, then you'd learn all that really crazy presentation and
I'm such a I love the aesthetics of photography. I love the technical side of photography, and so that technical part of me wants to know all of the technical things about food. I watch food shows, I watch Food Network, and I see all these things, and I know there are so many things I'm probably doing wrong. So I want to I'm seriously considering in the next year or two to go to culinary school and become a better food photographer and a food stylist in the process.
Nicole,
Go ahead, Gino.
What's the craziest thing you've ever had food ask from you during a shoot, like green M&Ms or Jack Daniels, or what kind of things do food traditionally request from you during a shoot?
Oh, they can be divas, They're paint oil on them, and I don't know how to respond to your questions.
A lot of people are asking this in the chat, but
okay, sure, the chat room.
I heard that the raw oysters are especially naughty.
Oh yeah, they're very.
Oysters are naughty. Well, Lotus. So, Nicole, tell us about this gentleman. Tell us about this photograph.
This was on a photo walk in Ogden, Utah, and we were just walking down the street. This man was very plastered, standing outside of a bar in the middle of the day. I walked up to him, asked if I could take his picture. I got 2 shots, and this was, I think, it was obviously the first or the second shot, but I just caught that moment. I actually did a post today on my Google Plus page about catching that moment when,
wonderful photograph. I mean, what a face, huh?
Yeah, lots of character in there.
So this guy was just wandering around the streets, kind of wasted and barefoot. There you go, Lotus.
Yes. Well,
somebody in the chat said he looks like he eats people. He definitely has a look on his face like, I hope you weren't standing too close when you took the photo.
No, he was harmless.
Now, did you get a model release from this gentleman?
No, this was just a personal, I like personal work, I guess. I didn't use it for anything other than, I probably put it on Flickr. And but this is not a stock photograph. I have very specific, certain photos are just stock and certain photos.
What are you shooting this with? The sharpness is just exquisite.
That trying to remember when I photographed it. I probably had the Canon 7D when I shot
7D.
that. Yeah.
And with what lens? Not that we're gearheads or anything.
I'm not sure. It was either it may have just been a 50 millimeter.
How much
I can't remember.
How much post-processing did you do on this image?
I think I put that in Nick Color Effects.
Yeah.
But this was like a few years ago, so I'm really trying to.
The lighting on it is really great. I mean, you can see it in his eyes and everything. It's just really a great shot.
It's a beautiful photograph. The background is great. It's nice blurred bokeh. It's got his expression, and it's just so sharp. Did you buy him a drink after you took the picture?
No, we kept walking. I think the funny thing is, other photographers were kind of lingering nearby, and I was the first person who, because I have no fear. You know, I walk up to people and ask if I can take their picture, and I don't, you know, if somebody has an interesting look, I'll be like, hey, can I, you know, take a picture? And most of the time they say yes. And I was the first person to happen to walk up to him and say, can I take a picture? I took his picture, and then other people, you know, started photographing him afterwards. So.
Well, if Ivan were there, he would have gave him $5.
I would. Probably 10, actually.
10.
For a photograph like that, that's true. Sometimes it's easier to get those photos if you're a female.
I think there is an advantage to being a female. I think I don't look like I know what I'm doing, or I'm any good at what I'm doing, maybe, because I'm a girl. So there's a stereotype. I don't seem threatening.
No, that's not the reason why, by the way.
Well, when I just was in Vietnam, and I have a bunch of Vietnam photos in the photos that Thomas is sharing of that album, and you know, I think it was easier for me in some ways, you know, but in general, if you have a camera, people are going to look at you, you know, because I have a Canon with a big white lens, so it was really hard to kind of stay in the shadows and sneak photos of people, so I was always asking people if I could take their picture. But it was nice, you know, a smile can go a long way.
Yeah.
All right, well, and everybody behave now, because my sister just showed up in the chat room.
Oh, April?
Yes.
All right. Well, I do have one more question for you, Nicole.
Okay.
Go ahead, take a big swig. To get the food looking the way that you want it to, do you ever talk to it? You know, like, oh, you look so sweet, you're so sticky, I love it, now make me hate it! You ever do anything like that?
Yes, all the time.
Any advice you can get us to achieve a certain look?
Find out what music it likes.
There you go, I like it. I'm going to write that down right now.
Ask its zodiac sign. That helps too.
Sign, baby.
Nicole, I actually was wondering, food photography, whenever I try to do it, I don't find dishes to be too photogenic. Do you own a lot of dishes, like a lot of plates, different glasses, and all that stuff?
Can you see that right back there?
Wow,
that
nice.
Big, like, let me turn a light on, maybe it'll...
Business deductions right there.
There's all those back there are my dishes. I also use some of my normal dishes depending on the shot. I probably have too many white dishes. I'm trying to add more color to my photographs. But yeah, I will, and it's dangerous going to any store, you know, that has, or like flea market. Cost Plus is a tough store for me to walk into and not walk out with anything in my hands because I'm always finding.
Must love you.
I like to shop for those things because I draw inspiration from something. I might find a dish and I'll be like, oh, that's gorgeous. I need to find something to work with that, and then I'll make a photo shoot out of it, and I'll make a photograph.
Crate and barrel, come on.
Write it off as a business expense.
I can't get it. That's another great thing about it.
Yeah, lowers your taxes.
Yeah.
Maybe if you didn't spend so much money on microphones, you could, afford a few more dishes.
The chat room is blowing up about the expense of your mic. Hey, so what is the cutting edge of food photography?
What do you mean?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
Photography? I don't know.
Is there like a big famous food photographer in the world that gets paid millions of dollars to take pictures of cupcakes?
Or like a really hard shot to get that everybody's been trying to get, like nobody can really capture Brussels sprouts.
I can't.
Or rutabagas.
Maybe it's rutabagas. That's the answer. No, I really, honestly, I don't know. I think
because everything comes so easy to you.
Well, that's not true. But here's a secret of mine. I get to photograph whatever I want to photograph. So I get to choose what I want, and I usually try and choose beautiful food, unless I want to, I'm trying to challenge myself, or I need to photograph something to add to my portfolio because I don't have it, for example. But oftentimes it's I'll just, I'll be like, I really want to photograph a gorgeous bowl of mac and cheese with panko crusted all over the top, or, something like that. And I have it in my head what I want to shoot, and I know it's going to be gorgeous, so I get to photograph it. I don't have an art director and a client telling me we need this and we need this and we need this, and then we have to piece it together.
So that's how it is. You only photograph the beautiful food. Okay, that's fine.
Yes,
fat foods don't need to apply. Gay foods, stay away.
With that said, I think you can make any food look beautiful and sexy.
Eggplant. Oh, yeah. I challenge you.
I could do eggplant. Off the top of my head, I know exactly how I'd photograph it. So
Then you'd
Okay,
have to
Nicole,
eat it.
refried beans.
Okay, that actually wouldn't be too hard because you can go with like a festive look, you know, and add some color to it, making, you know, with maybe some salsa on the side, some cilantro, sprinkle some tomatoes on the top and some cheese. You could, you know, it's a boring food, so you have to be creative, but
Yeah.
it's
How about
it's just
boiled
knowing how to
okra?
style it.
Boiled okra. What are you going to do? 5 seconds. Do it.
Boiled okra. What is? I've never eaten.
Silkworm larva. Come on.
That's when Google is your friend.
South Korean delicacy. I'm just saying.
What'd you
Kids
say?
Like it. I said silkworm larva, but let's just move on from there.
Silkworm larva.
Have you never seen this? Then
The only thing
I
you can
have,
do with that is
but
throw
I
up.
don't know if I'd necessarily
disturbing.
have that in my house.
To what Thomas said, you know, are there famous food photographers, and in particular, is there like a David Lynch of food photography?
Nice.
David, you know what? Now I'm going to embarrass myself, and I have to Google David Lynch really quickly.
Oh,
Believe me, that's a Wikipedia article you're not going to get through on this chat.
yes, not today. You know, David Lynch, when he was writing, I guess, Blue Velvet, apparently, he would, for like months and months, went to Bob's Big Boy in Toluca Lake in Southern California every single day. And
That makes so much sense.
You know, have you heard of the modernist cuisine? I believe that's the name of it.
Not.
Make sure this is the right. Yeah, it's a book, an extremely expensive series of books that I would love to get my hands on. That has all these gorgeous.
My best friend has this.
It's things are
They're cool.
just like modern ways of cooking.
There's like 9 of them, right?
Yeah, it's huge, but it's
Trey Ratcliffe actually did a picture of those books in San Francisco.
Now, how does bacon sell? Does bacon sell well for stock?
Bacon?
It sells like bacon.
Bacon, right?
I think so. I mean, it depends on how it's photographed, but I will say that my food photographs do well. I don't have specific statistics. There's not a way for me to just easily pull up a thing and see which, you know, what has sold and, you know, yes, I'm still here, Google, what has sold and to figure all that out, especially with bacon. Phony, what is that? Phony phones. Throwing me off, Gino.
You know, in the chat room, they do love bacon.
Bacon.
Space bar, Thomas.
Yes.
Chocolate-covered bacon, I think.
Yeah. Oh, I've been meaning to do a shoot with chocolate-covered bacon. I should go ahead.
Ooh.
Love
You
chocolate-covered
should see
bacon.
Alan Shapiro's.
Have you people actually eaten chocolate-covered bacon?
Yes.
Hell yeah!
Yes.
That sounds incredible.
It's
awesome.
good.
I'm not, but Ford had some pecan-covered bacon or these type of stuff. Detroit, what we had, right, Lotus?
It's so good.
Hey, Kimberton, you're in Canada. Come on, that's like what is your national flag is made out of bacon? Come on.
No, that's
Canadian
like
bacon,
Canadian
right?
bacon. It's like circles.
It's
Yeah.
not the same.
No,
So
not the
good.
same.
It's ham, dude.
You know, Eggs Benedict photograph, I probably put real bacon on there. Sorry, Canada.
What's your favorite food, Kimberly?
What?
What's your favorite food? What do Canadians like to eat?
Don't say poutine.
Pierogies and cabbage rolls and poutine.
Pierogies are Russian.
Yum.
What is Putin? I thought that Putin was already out of office over there in Russia. Is he
He's
still
going to be
around?
back in 2 months.
You guys are eating him in Canada? What's going on here?
So Nicole, is this your view from your apartment there in Seattle?
No, but I can see my apartment in it.
Oh, come on. This
very
is your view,
small.
I bet.
Can I just say, I have a problem with all the Seattle photographs that put the Space Needle, is that what we call it, above the rest of the skyline, because it's actually smaller.
You're right.
You go up there. And I you know, college Timothy took a business trip to Seattle and was like, I need to see the Space Needle. I got up to the top, and then I looked up about 20 degrees, and those were the other buildings, and I was so disappointed.
Yeah, no, it's shorter, but it's just where it's located. It's actually pretty far, not really far, but it's several blocks from downtown. And then Cary Park is where that's photographed. So you're up a little bit higher, but you're not high enough, you know, to get the actual buildings in the background taller.
It's an illusion.
Yes, it is.
Well, what a beautiful view of Seattle. That's when did you take this?
Last week, I think. before the
this is
snow.
brand new.
Yeah, it's
Your
very new.
newest work.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You had Snowmageddon times 2. How many?
Yeah,
millimeters
it's
did you have?
ridiculous. It's been snowing all day and all night.
Snowing here too.
Well, you're in
I don't
Canada,
say that
right?
because it's not snowing here, and I'm sad.
Oh.
It's snowing here.
Yeah.
It's not snowing in Texas.
No, not at all. It's not even raining in Texas.
It doesn't do that anymore, Gino. Come on.
Yeah,
We don't
yeah.
do that.
Have
no.
weather in Texas?
No.
We have
Remember-
weather. We have weather, Timothy. It's called hot.
Yeah.
I'm coming
So,
there.
Nicole, what is this a picture of? Is this, oops, I did the wrong one. Hold
Fort
on.
Townsend.
Oh, that's a good one though. I'd like to hear you talk about this one.
Look, I just +1 did. Did you see that?
Awesome.
Hit the space bar.
What happens if I hit the space bar?
That's the shortcut
Oh, hey.
to make the photo the hero.
Hey, Lotus gave us a little tip tonight. I like that. Who is this motley crew?
This is the Worldwide Photo Walk, the Scott Kelby Worldwide Photo Walk, and I led one of the Seattle walks when I first moved out here. Like a few weeks from moving here, I led the photo walk. So lots and lots of Seattle photo walkers. Some people came from Brian Natish is in there, standing right on the left side, standing right next to me. He came up from.
Brian. Does Brian live in Seattle?
No, he lives in Portland.
Oh, Portland. Okay.
Yeah.
We like Brian.
From On One Softer. He was on the
Brian.
show 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Oh, there you are. You're over there on the left. I was trying to find you.
Where is she? She's over here? Where is
Yeah,
Yeah, that's me.
right there. Right above the guy in the orange jacket.
she? Oh, right here?
No.
No, I'm kidding. Right
There.
here.
Right there. Yeah. Yeah, not the terrorist, the chick. Right there she is.
Right. Okay, then. Here she is with the red hat on.
Yeah, there she is.
She didn't. She forgot to shave.
I disguise myself well.
She photoshopped herself into several spots.
All right. Well, hey, so one of the things that we have to do is we have to trim this show. Because if it's too long, we cannot get it. And it's very important that we get it on YouTube. So, that said, we are going to end the show at this point, officially, for the recording. And then I'm going to invite you all right back. I'm going to send you all a link right back. And the show's still going to be on, so if you're in the chat room, if you're watching, don't go away. You have to refresh my stream on Google+, and then hop on into the news show, and then that way we'll be able to make a YouTube video out of this.
There's just something disturbing about your saying that I need to refresh your stream. That just doesn't sit well with me.
Yes, Gino, you especially. So I'm going to invite you all to a new hangout. Everybody come on back. And Nicole, thank you for being our special guest. Thanks to all our panelists. Wonderful panelists tonight. We're not done yet, but thank you for the show, and we'll see you all next week, huh?
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye, Peter Brady.
Okay, so exit and then look for the new hangout and join it. Okay.
I.
Okay. See you soon.
Bye.